Welcome back to Watch More Football, episode 13. Unlucky for some, hopefully not for us. You're watching us on the Genreverse Sports YouTube channel. Please give that a check out, and a like and a subscribe would be really nice as well, because it's just starting out. If you're liking the show, please hit it will help us out. While you're on there, take a look at the main Genreverse YouTube channel, which has got a few more subscribers, and that's got all your entertainment news, reviews, reactions, some really good stuff on there. And you'll find all that same content in written form on lrmonline.com. You can check that out if you prefer to read your news like I do, which is why I'm one of the writers of lrmonline.com. I'm one of the senior editors on there, so you can check out what I've got to say about the latest movies, TV shows, and generally the bad state of Hollywood right now. But today we're going to talk about the Premier League, we're going to talk about football. I'm Cam Clark, I'm back with Ryan, Mick and Dave. All right guys, how you doing?
Right.
All right.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad.
13 episodes, that's the first time you've asked us how we are.
Is that the first time I've ever asked you how you are?
Just doesn't care.
That's because,
usually.
That's because I don't care. Yeah, that's something.
We're all rivals at the end of the day.
I must have been.
No, we're not.
Trying to be polite. Maybe it's because of my work today. I've been trying to be polite to people, and it just seeped its way through into my character for some unknown reason. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, I'm not used to it, so knock it off.
Yeah. Fuck you too. I don't like games. Anyway, yeah, nice start to the podcast as always. So we are going to cover our predictions from last week and see where we went, how we all did. Kel, our lovely producer, will be bringing up that image at the moment. Ta-da! And we'll see our lovely whiteboards from last week. And then he will bring up the various results as they actually happened and not like necessarily we predicted. So basically, in terms of how the predictions went this week, everybody get 4 except Dave, who got 5, and there's one game playing right now that we still need to work out and calculate. So pretty simple in terms of scores then. Everybody kind of stays where they are, except Dave, who moves up 1 place, and that means that the total scores now are myself on 37, Mick on 37, Dave on 37, and Ryan on 33. But at least you didn't fall further behind this week, Ryan.
Lucky Ryan.
Has Ryan had any points stopped yet? I don't think he even has he?
No, he did. He was the first one off, I think.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah. He was the first sick note.
Doesn't lead into an arrow, just lying next to him. It'll sound better.
So you're the only one who has docked points,
and
you're drawing with Mick and I. It's shameful.
I know, so that's basically shameful for me. Yeah, exactly. I'm not doing too well. But, we'll see what happens going forward. In terms of how some of those games played out then, there is a few of them we want to talk about. I think it was one of the kind of, if you like, weekends where it kind of helped, what is that, like a moving day on the table, if you like. It defined the sort of table into some sort of clear categories, I believe anyway. So I thought it was maybe worth discussing some of that. I mean, probably the first one we have to talk a little bit is Moyes getting hammered, or West Ham getting hammered 6-0 by Arsenal. Have you all sort of seen the goals from that game?
Rice's was good.
I watched the match.
I did watch most of that game live.
West Ham, they were terrible. They were terrible.
West Ham were awful. They actually really were awful. I don't really get it.
Take nothing away from Arsenal because they played really well. But...
No. I mean, yeah, big momentum boost for them as well in terms of, and they're absolutely in the title race, which is one of the things that we're going to discuss. But I did think West Ham were very poor for being at home as well. Did you see that Kevin Phillips didn't really get on much? I think he got a bit of a...
Kevin Phillips again. You keep trying to bring him out of retirement, and
oh, what? I do.
You keep saying Kevin Phillips
out of retirement. I don't know, because maybe he's stuck in my head. It's all the bad nightmares he gave me when he
Mackham's living rent free in your head again.
Scoring goals against Newcastle. I can't get him. He's living in my head rent free. Kevin, Calvin, it's all the same, Calvin's just a modern day fancy Kevin anyway, isn't it? You know what I mean? As a name, like Calvin Klein. His name was probably Kevin. His mum called him Kevin.
Calvin with a K, which makes it even worse.
Put Kevin Kine on my knickers that I sell to people, so I'm going to change my name to Calvin, and it just became fashionable for there. That's my view anyway. Anyway, we'll move on to Calvin Phillips. But the fact is, he still hasn't been playing that much so far. it's probably an element of him getting up to speed, but was it a good move for him? Or was it a good move for West Ham to spend that? I don't know. But any other thoughts
It was a good
on
move on
that game,
paper.
guys?
I mean, it was a good move on paper for Phillips, but yeah, he just hasn't done anything. He's had some really high-profile
See
mistakes,
that?
which hasn't
Right.
helped.
He's
You see
1.5
that,
kilograms
Dave,
overweight, apparently.
You said, and I think it was you that said that how's he going to fit into that team? Because West Ham have got a really good midfield already. They don't need.
True.
I
Yeah.
think was it you that said that?
Yeah,
or
that was
maybe
me.
it was
Yeah.
Ryan, and I'm
Yeah,
just.
No,
was
that's
it you,
it.
Ryan?
So.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
One
Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
He had a point
sensible.
there.
You're right.
Yeah.
One thing I did find interesting was Declan Rice doing the whole, he goes back to his old club and he doesn't celebrate. But I don't really see the point in not celebrating when you've smashed in a loose ball to make it 6-0. Like
Absolute worldie.
It's not like oh, I've done my job, my team needs this goal, so I'm not going to celebrate because I didn't really want to score it, but I did anyway. It's fuck you in particular, but no, I'll show respect.
I
mean, was he supposed to do not go for it? I don't know.
I reckon he just listened to Klopp last week. That's what he did.
Yeah.
Refusing to celebrate, full stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be respectful to Liverpool by not celebrating your goals.
Yeah.
Actually.
They invented it, so yeah.
I just felt any sort of disrespect he could have given by celebrating properly was already sort of given by spanking the ball in from 30 yards when he didn't.
So what you're saying is you went right up to the West Ham fans and did this, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Antibiotic.
Yeah.
Like literally celebrate like I won the
That'll
title.
never be matched again. That'll never be matched again. That was unreal. But anyway, I mean, Arsenal very much in the title race, spanked West Ham. I think that I've been saying this for a long time. There's only 3 teams in the title race, which is Arsenal, Liverpool, and the other one, Man City. Yeah, the one that are probably most likely to
forget
win.
that.
City are kind of looking a little bit ominous at the moment, in that they're just getting into that way that they do after Christmas when they just win every single game they play, and Haaland turns into a robot Terminator machine from the future.
Well, me and Mick were saying
2 goals.
Yeah, me and Mick were saying on Saturday, like City weren't playing well against Everton at all. Like they had lots of ball, they got the ball.
They are a bit of a bogey team, though. Everton.
They weren't really playing well, but you just knew that they were just going to get 2 goals out of nothing and just stroll through the game and just sort of brute force their way through. And
it did feel both Haaland's goals felt like brute force to me, in terms of like the first one was just have it, and the second one was just pure strength and running off and just shrugging off anybody that was on him and getting a finish as well. It did feel like Haaland the Terminator back again for some reason.
It was a typical Haaland goal.
Was that saying, mate?
It was the typical Haaland goal, the second one.
Yeah, it was. I guess it was all his strengths, wasn't it? That kind of pace at running through, the kind of strength and the body shape to finish it. It was a good goal. Don't get me wrong. Defender could have done a little bit better. He kind of lost him a little bit, but at the same time,
he's
it's
strong
Haaland,
and faster, isn't he?
It's too good, man. It's too good.
And that Branthwaite's only young, so he'll
can't wait for him to piss off the Real Madrid in the summer.
Who, Haaland?
What, you meant Branthwaite?
Well, there was those reports like recently that he was #unhappy, but of course they came from a Spanish newspaper, which I think is suspect in terms of we need to get
anything that comes from Spain suspect.
Madrid, please.
Yeah, anything that comes from this.
Is it not just Mbappe's flirting with them, so they're trying to get him to actually put something on paper? It's like, oh well, if I don't go to Real Madrid, they'll get Haaland instead, and then I'll be stuck in Paris forever.
I mean, that's kind of up to you just don't know if Mbappe might just turn around and do that and go, bugger you all, I'm just going to sign another
second
contract
time.
with Paris Saint-Germain, yeah. And
I mean, he's already made 2 World Cup finals. He could make another one in the next World Cup, and then just fuck off to Saudi Arabia and spend the rest of his 20s in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but he must surely want a crack at winning a Champions League, and I don't think he'll ever win one with Paris Saint-Germain.
Nah.
You never know. You never know. You can't. Anything.
He wants a Ballon d'Or.
I just don't think it will happen.
He wants a Ballon d'Or as well. He's not going to get one there either.
I think the Ballon d'Or will start heading his way every year once Messi retires anyway, because he'll just be the next golden child. And you know how it works at Ballon d'Or. It's not necessarily who really was the best player. It's who does the media think's the best player right now, and that's how it tends to work. So, once Messi retires, or maybe even next year, they won't be able to give it to him because he's only played in MLS or something like that, But who else is going to start getting every year? It's either going to be Haaland or Mbappe, innit?
Bellingham.
I mean, they might, Bellingham.
That's
They
a
might
shout. That is a shout.
They might open it up a bit.
Bruno.
Look at.
Who did you say there? And then I realised, I know why he's saying that. Yeah, I agree with you, but I agree with you. But
Fernandes.
Dan Burn.
Bruno Fernandes, that'll be the day. That'll be the day.
I mean, they might try and
Nkunku, Dave.
Nkunku.
Nick Jackson.
At least Nick Jackson's playing.
I was going to say, Nkunku's got to be fit.
Yeah, he's not fit yet.
He's kind of starting to come back. Now, he looked good the other day there. I can't remember last game that you played.
Villa. Where we beat Villa, took him out of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
That's a sad day for English football.
Killed him.
Apparently, it's a sad day. Yeah, sad day for English football. Yeah.
I just hate the media bias against mid-table clubs with their take on Big Six teams.
Yeah.
You're a mid-table club like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
But his team are on the up now, Davey. He's sitting from the lofty heights of being plus 40 points like that.
Until they come up against the mighty Luton.
Come back when you got a 0 goal difference.
You say that. We'll get to that later on, but I do fancy a reaction from Luton this week. But we'll get to that later on. But everybody agree that there's only those 3 teams. Does anybody think Villa or Spurs can come into it in the title race?
No.
Villa are absolute. Yeah, Villa.
They're on their little slippery slope now. Them.
Yeah. And they've got.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
So they've lost. The news came out. They lost Kamara to an ACL, so he's out for the season. Their defensive midfielder,
good player.
They've got Europe coming up, where now they're at the FA Cup. Emery will be taking Europe seriously as well, to try and.
Plus, it's the knockout rounds, so it's a bit more serious now.
Yeah, there's some proper teams that'll be starting to come in. So I think they'll fall off. It's whether we can catch up Spurs, and I think the fact that we've already played them twice makes it a bit more difficult. But.
So, I mean, in terms of that next level of going for, if we exclude the top 3 and say they're already the top 3 at the end of the season because they're the 3 most consistent teams, would you say the next 3 after that are playing for that last 4th spot, which would be Spurs, Villa, and Man United at the moment?
Yeah,
if you look at the point level, I mean, saying that we're as many points behind Man United as Man United are still behind Villa. But you feel that Man United are coming into a bit of form and Villa are getting out of a bit of form at the moment. So I think it's a slightly different situation.
I'm looking at it as...
I think we'll talk about it. I don't think we're good enough to make a run like that this year.
We're 6 points behind Spurs now, which is the more important one. And it's something that we can make up. But it's going to need Spurs to obviously have a bit of a bad run.
I think they do need to have a bit of a bottle job at some point for you to do it, because I think they're a better team than you this year.
Yeah. Over the course of the season, they've absolutely played the better football. Yeah. We are starting to look more like a team now.
Agreed. Yeah.
The game yesterday, it was a scrap. We're not good enough to not let teams get at us, but we're responding to that better now. And there was a lot of really good sort of proactive defending in the box. They were getting to the box way too easily, but we were sort of stepping up and putting the tackles in and making sure nothing happened a lot more than we have done this season, which is the encouraging thing. And going forward, things are starting to click for the front 3 a bit more.
Onana's saving your ass quite a few times as well.
Yeah. Well, as opposed to chucking it in the net like he was at the start of the season. So
I still wouldn't count us out. I wouldn't count us out finishing above Man U. We're only 5 points behind them.
I don't necessarily say
12
we couldn't finish above Man U, Mick. I do think we would struggle to get above Man U, Villa, and Spurs to make.
Oh, 100%. We'll not get above Spurs.
Top four.
No, we'll not get top four.
It's too much.
I still think we could finish above Man U. We've still got them to play. Got the Spurs to play.
But I think it depends if we both go into a run of form or are Man United going to dip back off again. I don't know, because they have shown this glimpse in a couple of good games and then they fell off again. And I do think it's a bit of I think it'll be a good test for them if they can get a win at Luton.
Yeah,
I think that's a tough game.
You know, if you'd said to me a month ago we're going away to Luton, I would have been quite pessimistic about that. I think we've got it in us to get a result, but obviously it's only one setback usually that sort of completely knocks us off the rails. And if Shaw is anything more than a precaution because he got subbed off at half time, if he is out for any sort of length of time, I think that sort of kills it as well, because he, like Martinez, is so important to how we play. But we've got Luton next week. I think we've got another pretty winnable game the week after, and then it's City. So if we can build up a head of steam towards
you've
the
got
City Fulham. So we should be beating Fulham. You know,
then you've got Forest.
Yeah, I think Man United could still make top 4, top 5. I don't think we could, but I also think Man United could still fall away and leave Villa and Spurs just on their own, fighting for that one.
I mean,
or
we
Villa could fall back, but I don't.
Man, you've got a hard run in. Man, you've got a hard run in. They've still got City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, us. They've still got all the top teams to play.
Yeah.
The thing is,
a factor, I think.
Thanks.
We've got a few winnable games that might be able to build up a head of steam, but equally we could win those games, get smashed by City, and that's all the confidence gone again. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
You've got the bogey team Everton as well after City.
Yeah. Although we absolutely smashed them in sort of the hardest game it would have been to play Everton, which was at their ground just after they'd been docked points. So I think if we can do that, we can beat them all. That
wasn't much very good from their point of view, I don't think so. Yeah, but I think with Man United, it depends which version of you turns up. And so far, that's the first time I think you've went 3 weeks consistently by playing actually decent football and deserving to win games.
Yeah, I mean that's this season. It's looking a lot more like it was last season. But equally, it's also the first time the entire time Ten Hag's been in charge that we've beaten a side in the top half of the table away from home, which is obviously quite bad. And I think so. We've got the Liverpool one will be at home. I think Arsenal's away, and I think City's away, so it's going to be tricky.
You've got is it City away, obviously. Chelsea away, Liverpool at home, Arsenal at home.
Oh, okay. What about Newcastle? Is that
home?
Okay.
Is that at Old Trafford, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be fair, we don't mind going to Old Trafford, though. We quite like it.
No, at the minute we don't. Then you've got Brighton away last game of the season, though.
I mean, I do worry for Newcastle if they haven't worked out that they need a left back. Having Garnacho just running at Burn all game is going to be a bit tricky for you.
I mean, we might as well use that as a segue to talk about Newcastle a little bit, because we did have that. There was some issues with Burn at left back again. I don't think they were as bad as certainly in previous weeks, and I don't know if anybody noticed that we did change tactically. So when we had the ball, we were playing 3 at the back, which was Burn, Botman, and Shah, and Trippier was moving into midfield, and they were making a kind of midfield barrier with Trippier almost being there to kind of almost like a 6 at times, and I think that was stopping some of the kind of one-on-ones. There was only one time I felt that Burn got his own positioning wrong and got absolutely roasted for it. The other times I felt it was the midfielders and maybe Miley just getting caught out of position and stuff like that, and maybe I don't think he did the best game at the weekend, and I think that's where a lot of people came in and Burn a couple of times. So I actually think Burn didn't have a terrible game, whereas he did get roasted a couple of times. Do you know what I mean? And one of them came.
I think it's because he moved Bruno up a bit. He put Bruno as a number 8 instead of the number 6, where he's normally been.
Which won us a game. Let's be fair, he's the best player in the
I think he should be.
The game by far.
That just goes to show
wonderful goals.
Last season, I was calling for we need a number 6 so we can move Bruno into that position. And it just proved that really because Bruno was outstanding, wasn't he? So
I think it just shows you what we missed with Joe
goal.
Linton. We missed that defensive responsibility Joe Linton takes. He goes in and covers. You know, they go in and they cover and they protect Burn, and they know what they're supposed to be doing in there. And Gordon will come back and protect him as well. But you can't always, if you want Gordon going the other way, you can't always have him running back and protecting all the time. And I think what Howe likes is that the three of them are really tall and powerful, so it's very hard for people to score headers against us and stuff like that. So we don't get a lot of trouble for that.
Yeah,
so I think it's a difficult situation.
I kind of don't blame Burn for that first goal. I kind of do. He was out of position and he just got absolutely burnt. Alanga just was gone. But what the hell was Dubravka doing? Why was he on the edge of the 18-yard box when he had Burn was pretty much nearly alongside him and Shaw was at the other side of him, was just about to put the block in.
Was the one before that he missed, that Dubravka made a good save. I thought that was worse for Burn. I thought it was the whole team that were at fault for that second one, and Dubravka for me did kind of mess up by rushing out, which he doesn't normally do. That's not a hope thing. He doesn't normally do that, so it was a strange one. I guess we should talk about because Dave absolutely is mortified and disgusted at the penalty that Forrest didn't get. He was complaining about.
I thought it was a penalty. Yeah, keeper moves his arms up as he's running, can't get out of it. Defender knocked him into it as well.
I can't comment.
I'm going to ask you to.
I can't comment because I missed it. I can't comment. I missed it. I went out.
Not seen it?
Nah, I've still not seen it. No.
You must have even seen a replay. Oh, Mick. I think that sounds like
and then Newcastle went and scored like a minute later. Yeah.
Sounds to me that was never a penalty. Keeper's put his arms up to get the ball.
Right.
No, the ball was past him. Yeah.
The ball was past him.
I think it's insane them giving territory. Definitely. It's not the sort of thing that I like to see penalties given for. I think. I mean, this is proper sort of old man sort of opinions, but I think a lot of things that are given as fouls are like your technique's not been good. Oh dear, Dave.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't. Chelsea, a lot of things that are given as fouls at the minute are not actual foul play. It's you've got your technique slightly wrong and you're being really harshly penalised for that. And I think we need to sort of dial it back. Dial it back to actual cheating, actual. You've just completely given up on the ball, so you're going to take the guy out. Whereas if you go challenging for a ball that's coming towards you and you get it a millimetre wrong and touch the guy, it shouldn't be a penalty.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a wonder goal.
I'm with you, and I think it's a difficult one, right? Because for Dave's point of view, I kind of can see it, right? And what I'll say this, right? If that red shirt to Forest had been Man United or Liverpool, and I dare any of you to disagree with me on this, that's a pen every day of the week. That gets told. The guy gets told to go and look at the monitor. You all know it's true, right? That if that red shirt was not Forrest's, he gets asked to go to the monitor. Simple as that. And I think if he gets asked to go to the monitor, he gives it.
Yeah.
VAR in this instance decided not to, but I actually think it was a right decision because I think that the attacker initiates the contact. I think he gets a touch by Botman. It's not enough to foul him and for that to be a foul, but it does slightly knock him off balance. He doesn't control the ball. The ball's away past, and for me, he could have hurdled over the keeper, but he put his leg in to specifically touch the keeper. Now, the contact's made, and I understand it could be given, but there's no way in the world, unless he's got superpowers and he's Plastic Man and he could stretch his leg out at super speeds to curl that in, that he is grabbing that and scoring a goal. Yeah. And that's how, for me, I don't think it's a clear-cut penalty.
Yeah. I think in the spirit of the game, I don't think it should be penalty. I think in the current climate of the game, it absolutely is. But effectively, Dubravka's being punished for doing his job and getting it slightly wrong. And I don't think that's where we should be going.
Yeah. But what I will say, and to Dave's point, if I'm a Forest fan, and seeing all the other penalties that go against people, I'm raging at that. It's as simple as that. If that goes against my team, I'm raging at that. And Mick, if you've seen it, you'd be the same. If it happened against Newcastle and it was and Forest had gone and beat us, we would have been sitting here going, "That was a pen every day of the week." There was contact. There was contact. And it
contact doesn't always mean penalty.
If Ryan was against us. Yeah, but it's easy to take that view from me because I'm slightly biased when I'm looking at it, right? I don't know if I can look at it dispassionately, and whereas maybe Dave and Ryan can. That's why I can ask their opinions before I kind of come in.
I'm just watching it now.
So, here we go, live Mick reaction.
I know what he's going to say.
That was never.
I don't know what he's going to say.
Never.
Oh, get up, man! Get
Away, man.
There you go. I think he initiated the contact, and I think it would have been harsh. But at the same time, I can see why Forest would not.
The ball was already going out as well.
Doesn't matter.
It was gonna. I mean, that's no. I don't think anybody questions that it was gonna. But that's not necessarily what quantifies.
Not for me.
Or not.
Not for me. Even if it was the other way around, I'd be saying not for me.
I mean, what I will say about
the
keeper's defence is that Alan Shearer, who is one of the greatest legends of Newcastle, on Match of the Day said it should have been a penalty at Forest. So I don't think he was being biased.
Ref watch on Sky reckon it is as well, for what it's worth.
Really?
Well, they won't.
I never caught it.
Yeah, but what do they know?
But listen, I watch that most Mondays unless I'm having to work for the office, which I've actually been recently. So Ref Watch there, they don't know what they're talking about. That Dermot Gallagher comes out with some absolute pish sometimes. Even the people in the studio are taking the piss at him because his decisions like that. Damn it!
I'm trying to think of what it was.
What are you getting on?
There was an instance where everybody was saying when Newcastle, I can't remember when it was a while ago, when Newcastle should have had a pen. And everybody was saying it, all the pundits, everybody. Dermot Gallagher was like, "No, it was never a penalty for me."
Oh, yeah.
Piss off.
Just because Dermot Gallagher says it doesn't mean I'm going to agree with your opinion. He can fuck off. But, stupid old baldy prick. Sorry, mate. No offense. I'm going bald as well. You just can't see it yet. It's not come run yet.
It's alright. Grass doesn't grow on a busy street.
That's right, mate. In terms of, wow, it's absolutely teeming of rain here now to the point I can hear it battering off the windows. I don't think we're consistent enough, though. I think you still look at us defensively, we look really shaky this year. So for me, we're in that next hunt of trying to get 6th or 7th place to qualify for the Europa League. Does anybody disagree with that? Yeah. Top 6 with. I think it'd be a good season for us.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing for you guys. I mean, obviously you get slightly less money, but I think Champions League definitely came too early because it was still mainly a relegation squad that you had. But
it still is now.
You've got enough of a squad to be competitive in the Europa League, and that will, sort of suit you well when you make it back into the Champions League.
Well, people do a bit of a rebuild. We'll be able to get a bit of a turnover in the summer as well. And with Europa League, we'll be able to still
get ready a couple. We should be able to bring
even with like the sponsorship money for Sella and Adidas, that comes into play in the summer. We've got the Champions League money coming into play as well. So we'll be able to have a good overhaul, if you like. With Europa League, we'll still be able to get a decent caliber.
If you'd have said to me at the start of the season, top 6 and maybe an FA Cup run, the only other thing I would have loved to do is get to the knockout stages of the Champions League. That wasn't to be. We were really unlucky with that in some sense, but we didn't get there or qualify for Europa. It'd be cool to still be in Europe after Christmas. But other than that, I don't think it's a bad season. I never necessarily.
But even looking at our draw for the Champions League, I would have still took a cup run and 6th without getting through that group.
I mean, I was thinking before we even got. Once we get the draw, I thought, we're not even getting through that group. I didn't
nearly
think we'd get through. I must admit. So I hoped that we would sneak through in 3rd ahead of Dortmund. So that kind of shows you what happened because Dortmund won the group.
In the summer, do you think you're going to be moving on some of the older heads like Wilson, Trippier, and Byrne, who sort of were really good for you when you got them, and they would sort of play you needed?
I don't think Trippier.
No.
Trippier won't.
No way.
I don't think
if he was going to go, he
either.
would have went to Bayern Munich. That was a chance, and it's gone now.
I don't think Byrne will go.
He's going to stay. I don't think Byrne will go either. I think Wilson could. I think Wilson because I think he's
Almiron.
not fit enough. Wilson and Almiron could go.
Yeah. Richie, Dummett, all them, Lascelles.
I mean,
all them type of players.
Are they not just going to sort of run the contracts down and bugger off?
Well, Dummett's out of contract. Lascelles out of contract.
Anyway. Yeah.
Dummett, Lascelles are out of contract. I think Richie's out of contract, so they'll be gone. Obviously, I think Almiron will go. Wilson will go. Probably Emil Kraft will go. All them like kind of fringe players, the championship players.
Do you reckon I know Cher's had a really good season, but do you reckon you'd want to upgrade him and have Cher as like a good sort of depth player?
Yeah, I think if they're going to sell, they need to buy a centre back who can try to take that first place, or somebody that's younger that can take the place off Shat and let him take the back seat a little bit.
That's what will happen,
because he is getting past it, and it would be
Cher can be your McTominay
and score our goals.
Yeah, Cher can be your McTominay, break glass in case of emergency, bring it up and score a banger.
And he's good enough still that he that he could play, but you'll get more out of him if he doesn't have to play every week. Do you know what I mean? If he can get a rest in some games, but it'd be up to, I think, somebody to come in and take the place off him. Don't get me wrong, but I absolutely think we'll go and get a right-footed centre back this summer. That'll be one of the things that we do for sure.
And we'll be getting a left back.
I think we're in a good place to finish the season, relatively strong. If we don't finish in Europe, I'd be a bit disappointed at this point.
So,
I mean, I guess that kind of there's nothing else to really talk about other than the relegation side of things, which is going to the other table. Because when you get into that middle section, it doesn't really matter. These are the people we don't think is going
to make Europe,
and they're not going to get relegated. Which is Dave's team, Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get relegated. You're not probably going to qualify for Europe. So
unless we beat Liverpool, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't think you're playing well enough.
Especially,
But I think you need to just give them patience.
Well, if you win a League Cup, we get it. But
that would be a good season.
Oh God, Davies are getting beat.
You're still in the FA.
That's it. Oh, wonder goal as well.
That was like 20 minutes ago, Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm not watching it. I told you.
Palace have done nothing. He just shot from outside the box, top corner. Yeah.
Oh, he's getting.
Caicedo's done his knee. Did he go off in the end, Dave? I didn't see.
I don't know. He looks like
he's down. He was down for a while.
Oh, was that after the goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got kicked, didn't he? Yeah. No foul, but yeah.
Caicedo. Oh no, he's still on by the looks of it.
Yeah, he's still on.
But if we do get down to that kind of foot of the table, there was quite a big game this week in terms of, and I think it shocked all of us, because we all thought Luton were playing well. We talked about it last week. Luton are starting to play well. They were playing Sheffield United, who are shit and get beat every week. They're playing them at home. I think we all predicted that Luton would beat Sheffield, and what happened? Sheffield United beat Luton. So
the beauty of the Premier League.
How do you feel the relegation tables or the relegation's going to go? Let's assume that Everton don't get deducted any more points and Forest don't get deducted any more points, because that could have a big factor. But if we pretend that might not happen,
Sheffield United and Burnley will be gone.
Yeah, they're going to be gone. Yeah,
I think Everton are in real trouble, because although Luton got beat by Sheffield United, they look like a team with a plan, and they look like they can actually execute that plan. Whereas
they created lots of chances as well.
Everton just don't,
haven't they? From at the start of the season when they were. I mean, I know if they hadn't get the 10 points, they'd be mid-table, nowhere near it by now. But they did.
I just don't see that Everton have got the same thing about them. You know, they're not really grinding out the results.
Everton will get relegated, Brian?
I think there's a decent possibility. But it depends.
Coming 4 weeks to go, the fans will start a big campaign where they attack all the buses that come to play at Everton, and they'll have big banners up, and they'll start putting fireworks outside people's hotels and all that sort of stuff like they do every year, getting ready for the.
Yeah, but they normally chase their own players out of the stadium as well.
That might come. that might come. But this year, I think the players are kind of they're all right this year because they know it's the blame is in the Premier League. So nobody's having a go at Dyke or the players really. But that will change if they're close at the end.
Do we think Forest are going to get dragged into it because they're?
I mean, yeah, dragged into it.
Yeah, they're only 2 points ahead of.
And Palace are in it as well. I know Palace are winning right now, but Palace are in it as well. 100%.
Yeah, but if Palace keep a hold of this, they're 8 points ahead of Everton.
Forest just look.
It's
they look too good to go down. They've got too many
half-time.
good players, I think, but they're just not getting the results, are they?
Nah.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then you've got to keep Brentford as well, because Brentford are only 6 points ahead of Everton.
Yeah, but
they've got Tony back now.
Tony back, and
he's scoring.
By him, and he scores. Yeah, and he's a good player. They'll be all right, Brentford. I don't think they'll be at the problem. For me, it's Palace, Forest, Everton, and Luton. It's one of those four that goes down, and the other three stay up because I don't think. I think Sheffield or
it'll be after out of Everton and Forest.
Luton are just going to fly clear, are they?
Yeah,
I just think they've got a game in hand on both of them as well. It's just my take. I think it'll be out of them two that go down. I think Luton.
We've still got a lot of time to go.
Yeah.
So
there's still another 40 games.
But you kind of feel like it's forming into that pattern where, for me, Brentford and above are just not even in the fight at the moment. One of them could come into
I think Burnley are definitely dead because Vincent Kompany, every press conference, is just talking like he's going to start a motivational podcast at the end of the season. It's a
weird situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
They just don't seem to.
He's just every single press conference he gets absolutely battered. And he's just like, "Don't let your dreams be dreams. Everyone's telling us we can't do anything, but we can do it." And it's like, no, you've just got beat 6-0 off of.
Yeah, I mean it's valid. I mean, if you look at some of the goals they lost, I mean, every week during Match of the Day, somebody analyses, they played well going forward, but they were awful at the back, and here's all the mistakes that they made. You can't just keep.
They haven't got the sort of the defenders don't think quick enough to play out from the back the way they want to because the forwards that are pressing you in the Premiership are a lot better than in the Championship because they're all used to pressing in the Premier League. And they just haven't really
twice as high as they are in the Championship.
Yeah, Fofana, who they've got on loan from Chelsea, looks decent, but they just still haven't really got that goal threat. I don't think they've got plenty of players who can score nice goals, but they haven't got anyone who can just sort of stay in the box and put one in.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I think those two are down. Yeah, and Sheffield United, they have the odd game where you think maybe, and it just falls apart the next week.
And Chris Wilder is continuing to just slowly lose his mind there as well.
He is a miserable bastard, isn't he?
Yeah. He's like the stuff he's coming out with is on a par with Nigel Pearson calling someone an ostrich when he was at It just
all right. So, guys, will we move on to the next round of games and do our predictions and stuff and wrap up this week? So, as always, we'll hold up our predictions. Try to get the perfect angle here for the shot.
The ring light's in the way. Oh, I can't do this.
And I mean, looking ahead at some of the games that's coming up, I'll be honest, I don't think there's a lot of I need to watch that games next weekend in terms of the way that it's working out. The ones I think that might be the most interesting are Luton versus Man United because it's a kind of anything that could happen scenario. It'll be interesting to see if Man United continue their form or Luton come back and shock them because they're one of the teams that could.
Yeah.
So
Villa were a test of whether we're doing anything, and Luton are a different sort of test, but the same sort of test.
It's a different test, yeah.
They'll pose a challenge, but one that we should be able to beat.
The other game I think could be important for what we've just been talking about is Everton versus Palace. Everton at home to Palace. If Palace can pull off a win against Everton, it maybe takes them out of that relegation fight.
City versus Chelsea could be tasty.
It could be a tasty game.
It's not going to be like the last one.
Is it not?
No. It could be a tasty game. Anything could happen in a City v Chelsea game. But does it matter that much other than whether City win or not? It's not. Chelsea aren't there fighting for something, I don't think, at the moment, other than personal pride. So So I don't feel it's like a big game that we need to look at and say, oh, that's, and that's does Chelsea maybe an injustice, because it will still be seen as a big game and we'll all probably watch it. But,
I've got to say, it's got to be the worst Super Sunday lineup of the season, hasn't it? Sheffield United versus Brighton and then Luton versus Man United. That's a bit shit, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those weekends where
we're only there because we're only there because we're Man United. It's not a big game at all, really, is it?
100%, yeah. Which is fine,
I'd have been more interested to watch Tottenham Wolves.
I think that could be a good one, yeah.
Yeah,
because it's two sort of contrasting styles, but Neto and Cunha can hurt Spurs on the counter.
They're so inconsistent.
Cunha could be injured,
one week they play brilliant and we go, oh, Wolves, they were good this week, and then the next week you look at their result and you think, what? They've just get smashed 2 or 3-0. What happened?
Yeah.
Really
I think they're just a mid-table team. They've got good players, they play well, but they're never gonna they're not gonna take the next step. But I still think they are a good team.
Yeah. Fancy Spurs to beat them, to be honest. But I said that on the predictions. Anyway, any other things that you want to talk about before we say bye-bye for the week, boys?
No.
No.
Okay.
I mean,
you have been watching.
Hang on, Ryan's got something to say.
I was going to say, if we're looking to branch out the John Reverse Sports channel, the rugby league season starting this weekend, so I could do a one-man band.
Yeah. No,
one viewer for that.
It doesn't even exist as far as I'm concerned. It's some weird sport that people with mullets like. I don't know why. But I just imagine the average rugby league enjoyer having a mullet. I don't
think of football without the padding.
If you want to know what peak male performance looks like, Google Mark Riddell. He was one of the best players in the world at one point, and he still looks the way he did when he was playing.
Never heard you. I don't know. It's not for me. Any rugby, whether it's rugby league or rugby union, I just don't like it. But anyway, we will see you next time, because Americans, if you're watching this for America, you don't like rugby league either. You're not interested, but you do like Premier League. So come back and watch us next week. Talk about what happens next time in the Premier League, because we'll be back for Watch More Football episode 14 next Monday. Thanks for watching.
Episode 15, can
subscribe if you can.
14.
No, it's 14. It'll be 14 next week. This is 13 this week.
This is 14, Cam.
I was just at the beginning.
Asterisk get there at the beginning. But,
right, let's start over. Let's do it again.
You're going to redo the intro now, Cam.
Yeah, got to do the whole podcast again.
Yeah. Start the whole show again. Let's go. Right.
Good night.
Bye-bye, everyone. I might get it right next week.
There's me, charging into battle alongside Cam.